This is the video review of Tobot Giga 7, and he is formed from Adventure X, Adventure Z, Tobot Cargo, Tobot D, Tobot K, Tobot Caracal, and Adventure Y back there. And so Giga 7 because he's formed from 7 parts. And so I'm gonna move some of these out of the way real fast so that we can take a look at them individually. So here we have Tobot Adventure Z, and it looks pretty, it's smaller, but it looks pretty accurate to the normal DX2, I guess, except for the color, but they always change the color for the combinations. It rolls pretty well, and overall it's not too bad. To get ready for combination, we're going to push the top in like that, which will push out this sort of armored leg section here. We'll fold these down. And then we'll take the wheels and we will push them up like this so there's room for the foot to come out. And so for the foot, we're going to pull the toe out like this and rotate the entire foot out like that, and you get a really nice big foot here. So there's one of the legs, so I'll put it off to the side. Next we'll look at Tobot Cargo, who is basically kind of the same thing. So while he is the same kind of car that Tobot Cargo was, he does the same thing as a Tobot Evolution D. So there it is, rolls, and we're just going to do the same thing. So fold that in, fold these up, then fold out the toe, and then fold it in. And as you can see, if the tires were left like that, they would not be able to enter that section right there. So fold that in like that, and here we have another foot. We'll put it off to the side. Next, looking at Tobot K, and instead of being green, this time it's tan. It looks pretty nice. There's a lot of little gaps in it from how it transforms. Rolls pretty well. Now transform, you're going to want to put your fingers under here to push this up. And if you get this guy and you're having a hard time pulling it up, just do it the way I did. And the problem is, or what's making it hard to pull up, is there are some little tabs right here that go into these slots right here. But anyway, you'll push that up into a vertical position. You'll come under here and you'll pull these up, which will give you the... They kind of tab into the sides in here, and if you don't do it, then it's a little bit hard to pull these, to rotate the legs down like this. Anyway, then you'll pull these up and out to the side to form hip skirts. Open the legs up, and you'll open up these panels here and pull out the leg connector. Do the same to the other side. Then fold down the front skirts, and this is Tobot K in his upper thigh configuration and hips configuration. So to combine them, you're just going to take this and stick it into there like that. So chunk and chunk. And here we have the lower body of Giga 7. So we'll put this off to the side. Next, we're going to take a look at Tobot Caracal, who is a very strange gray this time. It's very muted for a Tobot figure as far as colors go. He looks pretty nice, pretty much exactly as he did with the DX toy. Oops. And he rolls pretty well, and like surprisingly well considering how textured his tires are. Because usually what will happen with something like this is that it'll get stuck on between some of the grooves. But no, he rolls pretty fine. Transform this guy. We're going to pull this out until it locks into place. And we're going to slide this forward, which allows us to pull, sorry, you need to fold these side panels down. Then you'll pull the arms out of here. Then you'll push down here to get the head to come up, and this little bit spring-loaded. And before I do this, I'm going to show you how the light piping on this thing works. If you press this button here, it'll have voice and sounds, or sounds and lights. And so there's a clear LED down here, and that will push the light up into that section here. So when you put this in and lock it into place by folding this back, you get some really, really nice light piping there. Hold on, let me adjust one of my lights. So let me show you this a little bit. Trying to get some more light in this area here. And he has a lot of voice clips. I don't understand what any of them mean. I don't know if they go randomly or in sequence, but That's basically how the torso area works. So we'll take the legs, and we'll take the this little thing right here, which will be the runner, and we'll put it into these tracks right here, and then this thing right here, this little red section here, will block off the front and keep it from going forward. And if you press this little tab right here on the front, it'll make it go down. So that's how you would disassemble him. So we'll push it in like that, and here we have his upper torso on the legs here, and he's starting to get really, really big. Next, we want to take a look at Adventure X. This guy, it's pretty simple, looks pretty close to what he was beforehand. Rolls pretty well. In a transformer, you want to pull the sides of the car off like this, rotate them to the side like that, rotate the hand out like this, and when you do this, there's a little spring-loaded panel that will come down. And there you have the fist, which can open and close, and you do get a little bit of wrist articulation here. Then you'll pull this up, which will be the inwards and outwards shoulder joint. And this will connect by using some tracks in here that will go onto the, or some runners in here that go on the tracks right here. And this little red button up top here, if you press this, it'll cause a little red thing there to go in, and that's how you would release it. So you press it down. If you want to take it off, you would press the button, which will let you lift it off. So press it down onto those tracks, and it doesn't feel like a solid connection when you put it down, but it is a quite solid connection. Like, you can dangle the guy, but oops, I guess you can't. In spite of what happened there, it is a quite solid connection. I was able to dangle him by a little bit, so don't do what I did. Anyway, over here is Tobot D, which is basically the same, and I really like the blue on this. So rolls, and he transforms exactly the same as Evolution X. So you pop this out, rotate it around, fold out the fist, and pull this section out here, and it'll go on the other side of Giga 7. So it just goes on like that. And honestly, if you wanted to stop right here, this is a pretty good looking robot. Very tall, very big, very imposing, and pretty solid. You don't technically have to do anything with Adventure Y to get a decent robot mode, so... And there's a reason why you might want to just leave this guy off to the side, because like this, it's just a pretty good, solid robot. But he does have a problem where he does rock a lot. And if you come down to the bottom here, some of the ratchets in his hips, they are super duper weak, and if you just drag them across to the ground just a little bit, they will start to move, and it's very very annoying. And so this guy does not interact well with the wobbliness of the figure, and he does involve some parts forming, which the rest of the figure managed to avoid. So to do this, you're going to pull off the skids down here, and the top of the helicopter, you're going to pop it off here. You're going to pull this section out, and I like this little bit of molding here, because this is where the head of Evolution Y sat in the vehicle mode of the DX toy, and so it's not the same sculpting as far as like it actually being a head, but I do like it that's there. Then you'll take the skids, you'll push them into the bottom here and open them up. And you pull this out, and you get a little laser beak-like drone, and I don't think it works very well because it doesn't have enough personality, I don't think, to kind of be its own little robot thing, to be like a robot servant. Like, Laserbeak had personality, at least he had eyes. This thing kind of doesn't, and it just sort of sits off to the side. So I'm a little bit disappointed about that. Then this will become his weapon, which you can put into his hand. Just slide it in like that. He doesn't really hold it very well. Like, it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to wobble out, but there's not like a set way for him to hold it. It just kind of slides in, and then the grippiness of the slightly rubbery finger plastic holds it in place. And I don't think it really works that well as a sword because the crossguard is so large. He's holding it by a blade, and then this blade here is not super long, and the crossguard, because it's so long, will bump into this. So I honestly wouldn't even mind just chopping off these two blades here on it so that he could have a more normal looking sword with a more normal looking crossguard, and then just have it be like, oh, the helicopter has two main blades and two little itty bitty blades. I wouldn't mind doing that. I probably won't, but it's something that you could do. Anyway, put it back into his hand. And now to transform this, we're going to fold these down. We're going to open these up, which will reveal some rocket boosters or gun if you want for Evolution Y when he's in his helicopter mode. Then you'll open it up. I like to fold these down one click. then you pull these out, and these are the same kind of connections that worked on the legs. And then you turn the guy around, and then you plug it into the back right here. So, chunk and chunk. And then what happens is the entire figure just sort of leans way, way back. So, like, you already couldn't see over this monstrous chest bulk, but now he's leaning way back too, so it just looks very, very weird. There's not really anything you can do to fix it just by managing the transformation or anything like that. It just kind of topples. Like, this guy is so big that his ratchets can't really hold him. I tried opening him up a little bit, and like you can see, I'm having problems with him. He's getting off balance just a little bit here and there, and then he's just crashing. I tried opening up Tobot K down there a little bit to see what's going on with the hip joints, and there wasn't really much that I could do because there wasn't really any room to like use future floors to beef up the joints, and there wasn't any like, I didn't feel comfortable putting some plastic behind the spring of the ratchet to make it hold harder, because when it was into place, it had just a little bit of motion to move. The spring just wasn't strong enough, and if I try and put any more plastic in there, then the spring couldn't compress at all, and then you just grind away the ratchet. So I'm kind of disappointed about that. The one thing that might fix it is that the ratchet was also greased, so if you put the ratchet pieces in warm or hot water and wash it off, that might improve it, but I don't know how well it would have worked. I would prefer just like some sort of stop so that the legs can only go out one click, because with the way that this guy works, you're not really going to be able to get, and because of how weak a lot of the ratchets are, you can't really get any better poses than just straight up standing, which is a shame. Now for his arms do have a decent amount of articulation. They can go around 360 unless they hit the helicopter in the back. They can go in and out. This arm less than the other one because this one has a little bit of a spoiler back here on the Tobot D, but this one can go in and out a lot. And then the elbows can bend, and then you get some wrist articulation, and the fingers can open and close. So you do get some decent arm articulation. It's just a shame that it doesn't translate to the legs, not necessarily because it don't have joints, because it does have a forward and back ratchet in the leg, in and out on the leg, and some knees, and then these really wide feet here. It's just that his ratchets just aren't strong enough to hold up his immense bulk, which is a shame because really he's not that bulky. He's big and he's tall, but like if I compare him to Thunder Guardian over here, Thunder Guardian is a lot shorter, but he outmasses, or not Barbarian King. He's a lot shorter than Giga 7, but he outmasses him by, oh, so much. This guy feels positively light in comparison. So I was kind of hoping that when I got Giga 7 and Thunder Guardian or Barbarian King together, that they would kind of complement each other. You know, they're from different toy lines, but no, Thunder Guardian and Cross Attacker and Barbarian King just way outclass everything that Giga 7 does, because everything these guys do is interesting. Whereas with, let me put him up back off to the side, whereas with Giga 7, he's just kind of there. The combination sequence is very simplistic. Like, it's not bad, but every single individual figure, it doesn't do much to transform, just one or two flips, and then they kind of connect together. And there's nothing interesting. So unlike a Deltatron, who had lots of weird stuff that happened that flipped out and flipped around and stuff to do a lot of a mass shift or apparent mass shifting, this guy's just kind of, you flip out the feet, you flip out the legs, you flip out the abdomen, you flip out the arms, and then you put a backpack on, and then he's done. So I'm really sad to say that I don't like Giga 7 that much. He's not terrible, but he's not... I may have hyped myself up too much because I really liked Quadrant and Deltatron, but this guy just doesn't hold a candle to them. So if you like what you see here, and you either think that you can open this guy up and stiffen the joints, which it's possible, it's just I don't feel comfortable doing it, at least before a review, or if you just don't mind that much, just like keep him on a shelf. He's not a bad figure. He certainly is quite well detailed, and he has a very neat knight aesthetic, but he's just not quite what I was looking for. So anyway, if this guy intrigues you at all, except that he costs $200 to get, I might recommend him. But anyway, this has been a video review of Giga 7. I review Tobots, Transformers, Bike Lawns, Power Rangers, lots of stuff like that. And if that sounds interesting, please subscribe, and thank you for watching.